In today's video, I'm going to talk about Thorns by Tony Martin. This is his third solo album. Most of us know Tony Martin as being the vocalist for Black Sabbath from the late 80s to the mid 90s. And this is his first solo album in 17 years. So a quick history on Tony Martin. His first album was with Black Sabbath in 1987. That's called The Eternal Idol. But most people remember him from the album The Headless Cross, which, in my opinion, was his best album with the band. So his last album with Black Sabbath was in 1995 with Forbidden. It's an album that a lot of fans don't like it, but I always thought it was a pretty decent album. Since then, he released a few more solo albums, his last one being Scream in 2005. And he has been involved in many different projects. He's had multiple guest appearances, and so that brings us to this album. So I like it a lot. Songs are mostly reminiscent of the songs from his time with Black Sabbath, but he does a lot of other stuff on the album as well. There are some points in the album that kind of sound a little funky. There's some parts that sound like groove metal. And there's one song that's kind of strange, like a 90s alternative country song, but I'll get to that. Also, lots of acoustic and clean guitars. You can hear the bass very well. There's distorted guitars, but all within that signature, really heavy sound. So with that being said, let me just go through the songs. The first song is called As the World Burns. So this was the first single. It was released not too long ago. It's a heavy song. It starts with some heavy chords, to some quick tremolo picking. It kind of goes into a very heavy thrashy riff. This song is a mid-tempo rocker. There are also parts of the song that do slow down, making it reminiscent of Black Sabbath. There are also a few quieter parts that kind of create this haunting atmosphere. Pretty good start to the album. The next song is called Black Widow Angel. So this is another heavy song. It reminded me of some of those slower Pantera songs in the beginning. But as the song progresses, it reminds me of those classic Black Sabbath songs. So the main riff is very heavy and doomy. There's part of the song where some funk metal, kind of reminded me of Infectious Grooves or Primus or something like that. But I thought that was pretty cool. On that part you hear the bass very well. But pretty cool song. The next song is called Book of Shadows, and this one has a very haunting and eerie sound to it. It has choir singing in the background, heavy riffs. The bass riffs sound very good. It has these slow, soaring vocals. You also hear some violins at some point in the song. This reminds me of some of those older, spooky Black Sabbath songs. Also some keyboards. It kind of creates a very full sound. The song also has an interlude, where the bass guitar can be heard very well. And this is followed by a keyboard solo, and that sounded pretty cool. Next song is called Crying Wolf, and it's a change of pace. Slower paced song, has clean guitars in the first verse, has power chords that are played on an acoustic guitar in the second verse. And it reminded me of those 90s bands that played that heavy music with acoustic guitars. So a band like Days of the New come to mind. The guitar solo sounds very good, has a clean electric sound. There are also some keyboards and that accompanies the sound. The next song is called Damned by You. This is a cool song. It has heavy power chords with violins. It's a very unique sounding intro. The song itself has a straightforward 80s Black Sabbath sound. I like the use of the backing vocals in the chorus. The guitar solo sounds good, kind of reminiscent of a Metallica solo, has that heavy wah-wah sound. The next song is called No Shame at All. This is a mid-paced rocker, has a really nice groove metal sound to it. Also some nice drum fills in between the verses. I really like the riffs in the song. They're very catchy, and the song in general was very memorable. The next song is called Nowhere to Fly. It's another song reminding me a little of 90s alternative. It has that isolated bass riff, has some slower vocals. It's a power ballad, has a softer verse and a heavy chorus. It's slow, it's doomy. The song has some cool crunchy riffs towards the end of the song as well. The next song is called Passion Killer. This is another groove metal song, reminds me a lot of Pantera. The drumming really stands out on this song, lots of drum fills between the verses. There are also parts of the song you can hear the bass guitar very well. Another part of the song where Tony sings in a rhythm, kind of sounds like a funeral dirge, that classical music piece. And I thought that was pretty cool. Next song is called Run Like the Devil. It has some cool chugging guitars, an almost thrash metal vibe to it. The song is a little faster paced than most of the other songs. The guitar riffs are very technical. The song also has a cool breakdown and a shredding guitar solo. The next song, This Is Your Damnation. This is that strange, like, alternative country song I was talking about before. It has the acoustic guitars. The vocals are spoken in the verses and like sung in the chorus. It's very different. I like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of that old like Charlie Daniels song, like The Devil Went Down to Georgia a little, and the theme is kind of like similar as well. It's very different, but I kind of like it as well. The final song is called Thorns, and a cool song. Has clean guitars and some like classical acoustic guitars in the intro. It's another ballad. It has some heavy power chords in the song as well, and pretty cool way to close the album. So in conclusion, I thought it was a very good album. I like the sound of it. It has a really good production value. You do hear all the instruments very well, especially like the guitar and the bass. That can be heard very well. I also like it has like a sound similar to his work in Black Sabbath, but he added a lot of originality. He tried a lot of different things. He experimented a little on different songs, and I do like that aspect of it. So I don't think it really sounded like a sequel to a Black Sabbath album. So with that being said, I'll give this album a 9 out of 10. I thought it was very good. One that I'll probably listen to it again. And I'm sure there will be other people talking about it pretty soon. I know it's kind of early. I haven't seen really many other reviews of this, but I'm sure there will be. So definitely check out this album. So that is all. I will continue tomorrow with another anniversary review. It will be the debut album by Blue Oyster Cult, celebrating 50 years. Stick around for that. During the week, I'll do their other new releases. So there are bands like Fit for an Autopsy, Under Oath, Shadow of Intent, and Skillet. And I do have like another anniversary coming up. I think it's Rolling Stones. So please remember, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the other videos. I will stick them right over there. And see you all in the next one.